So one of the things I appreciate about our audience is that they watch what's going on at the legislature with great interest, and they will spot things that sometimes our panel knows something about and sometimes not. We have an interesting question from a viewer who wants to know, he describes specifically our esteemed senators, so this is good. What our esteemed senators have to say about a bill, technology bill about the right to repair technology. And this is tied in with, I just have one quick story. The battery in my phone had failed, and I went into a chain that replaces the battery, and they took care of it. And they were talking, of course, about this bill and had a great deal of interest in it. Start with you, Senator.
Well, you've hit actually the chief author of the Digital Right to Repair bill.
Blind squirrels find nuts once in a while.
They hit it very well. This session, we're really not going to get any action. We have had some progress on this, and what they're talking about is manufacturers are now becoming more and more sophisticated in putting in devices, firmware, poison pills that make devices inoperable if you do certain things to them. Primary example, there's a place, and I think I might have used this example before, a place called Ocean Tech down in Eden Prairie. I went into the tour, and they had a whole stack of servers, and these came from companies like the one I work for. I work for a Fortune 100 company, and these were servers perfectly usable, 3 years old, but they wanted the company to they swapped them out, put in new servers. Well, this company refurbishes them, puts their own warranty on them, and then sells them to school districts. Well, this is the perfect marriage of businesses and schools, because the business can get a little value so they can replace their equipment. The school district can get a perfectly serviceable piece of equipment that they don't have to have top of the line for, like a company that needs it, and we all win, and the taxpayers win even more. So, but the problem is manufacturers such as IBM, not to call one out specifically, are putting devices here that are causing it to be more difficult or impossible to be able to do this type of activity. And Minnesota is actually a hub for this type of thing. So we don't have any action on it yet. We've been working on this. My plan is to get out of this session and hold some stakeholder meetings. I have done this in the past, and bring some people together, because the momentum is starting. And just like with the distracted driving bills and hands-free cell phone use bills, those had been swirling around, but eventually they gain more momentum, and I see the momentum starting. And I do plan on continuing to pursue that and getting some accommodations for the agriculture industry. We don't want people going in and programming tractors or doing certain activities that would be detrimental. I've heard cases where people have accidentally been programming something and caused somebody to get injured because they created something swung out and hit someone. So we have some work to do on this. We don't want to fill up landfills. This is where John Marty and I agree. We don't want to fill up landfills with these things. We want to use them until we can possibly get the most life out of them and let people be able to fix them. And I'm working on that, and hopefully this is not a partisan issue. I'm hoping we'll get that to the floor next year.
Any thoughts on
It's a good idea, right? I mean, at its base, it's a really good idea. So if we can figure this out, this is a win-win for everybody. And I agree, it's not a partisan issue. It's just a matter of figuring out the nuts and bolts. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as Sunday sales did, but sometimes things take a while to percolate, right? And this is maybe one of those things, but I think it's a really good idea.
Especially in Minnesota, because right now we are one of the major places where this activity is taking place. If we could be the first ones to have this type of legislation, this really should be a federal issue, but Washington is as dysfunctional as ever. But if we can get this done, we can make this flourish just like we have in the medical industry. And of course, I don't want people taking pacemakers apart and rebuilding them. That's part of my bill has been, you can't do that to medical equipment. But if we can do this, we can increase jobs in Minnesota. And these are small businesses, 60, 50, 60, 40 numbers of people in different places that are doing this activity. And they're shipping these things to Alabama. They're shipping them to Hong Kong. We are a hub for this, and they're bringing in used equipment from the same places to refurbish. We can be the hub of this if we just get off of our butts and get this done. So my hope is to get this done over the summer.